Alright guys, so here we go for a possibly long rehousing video. As I mentioned in my last video with my new additions, I said that I had several rehousings to do, and this is going to be one of those videos. I say one of those videos because I still have another 4 to 5 tarantulas I need to rehouse. Unfortunately, I did not realize I was as low on substrate as I am, so I'm going to have to go to the Bio Dude and order some more substrate. Also, I have some tarantulas in need of a rehouse that are a bit larger tarantulas, and larger enclosures are a bit harder to find and a bit more expensive, so that video will be coming later. That being said, we're going to rehouse several small tarantulas, so again, go grab a cold drink and a snack, sit down and get comfortable. Let's rehouse some tarantulas. So I forgot to mention in the introduction of the video that we have 4 new worlds and 1 old world to rehouse. So we're going to save the best for last with the old world, and we're going to start with the easier ones. Some of you who know tarantulas can probably already look at this one and just about probably guess which one it is. This is my Toliltocatl albopilosum. This is the Honduran curly hair freebie that I got from Jerry and Lily at Nature's Exquisite Creatures. It's been needing a new home for a while, so we've got one made up for it. So that's what we're going to do now, is just put it in its new house. And with it being the species it is and everything, I anticipate that this will be pretty easy. They're not really defensive or bolty or anything like that. So, I mean, I ought to literally just be able to coax it out with my finger into the new enclosure, but of course it is comfortable in this one and does not want to go at first, then realizes that it's for its own good. And there we go. There is the first tarantula rehoused. I hope the rest of them go as easy. But there we go. There is my Honduran curly hair in its new enclosure now, and I think it'll be in here for a while because they grow quite slowly, so it'll be in here for several months or maybe a year before I have to rehouse it again. But then again, there we go. Honduran curly hair tarantula number 1, safely and easily in its new home. So this next tarantula is also from the Toliltocatl genus, formerly known as Brachypelma. This is the Toliltocatl Epicureanum, the Yucatan rust shrimp, I believe. Very similar in appearance and everything to the Toliltocatl vagans, the Mexican red rump. Looks a lot the same, but they get a bit bigger. These guys get pretty good size, at least bigger than the vagans does. So this was another freebie that I got. I do not remember who I got it from, but I want to say it was Fear Not. But we'll go ahead and put it in a new house. Again, it's another one that's been needing a new house for a minute now. So we're going to go ahead and rehouse it. You'll notice that piece of tissue down there. That's where its burrow is. And I just blocked that off just to make transfer easier, because if I go to try to move it, it's going to want to run back down in there. So hopefully this one will go as smooth as the curly hair video did. Nice new home made up for it. I don't know why it would not want to go into that. And we'll see how smooth this one goes. And it's already starting to walk out there. There we go. I really like the New Worlds, especially the Brachypelma / Toliltocatl species, because they are so slow and mostly mild-mannered and not defensive really, or prone to bolt. You can see this one is just like not moving now. It's frozen, like if I don't move, he can't see me. So there we go. There's the second tarantula down. That's the second one in a row. They went in nice and safely and easily without incident, but we're building up to it, guys, so get ready. There is my Toliltocatl Epicureanum, the Yucatan rust rump, now in its new house. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, again, continuing with the theme here. Same genus, kind of, but not really. They are kind of the same species, but this is not the Toliltocatl. This is the other whatever. It's still confusing to me. This is the other part of the genus of Brachypelma. This one molted several days ago, as many of you will have already seen the pre-molt and even, I think, post-molt videos. And so, since it has had time to recover from its molt, I figure it's time for a new house. I'm really excited at how well this thing is starting to already show its adult colors for the size that it is. This, of course, is the Brachypelma bomi, or the Mexican fireleg. Again, this is a freebie, and I cannot remember who I got this species from, but it was one of those freebies that I got for spending so much with someone. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and put it in its new house. Hopefully this will go pretty well. So far, so good. None of my Brachy/Talitocotls have been very skittish so far. So let's see if we can keep that trend going. Now, this is my first Brachypelma bomi, and of course, I've never kept them before, but from what I understand from a lot of people who have kept them, as far as Brachypelmas go, they are one of those species that is more prone to being a little bit more pissy and hair kicky when they get older. So that's just something to be aware of if you think about getting one of these, which they're a really gorgeous species, and I think everybody should have one in their collection along with the majority of the kind of Brachypelma genus, because I really dig them. There's some really nice spiders. But this one, I've had people say that they kick hair a lot more than most other Brachypelmas, so that's just something to be aware of. There we go. 3 for 3 uneventful, guys, but get ready because it is building. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this next species is one of those hobby favorites, and one of those that if somebody doesn't have one, it is definitely on their list. This is our last New World as well, but people love these guys for their appearance, and from what I understand, when they get a little older, their temperament, they're a bit more curious. This one right now is a little more skittish and bolty, but it's not prone to bolting out of its enclosure. It wants to stay where it's comfortable, but it'll run around inside there. This is the Hapalopus species Columbia large, the pumpkin patch tarantula. Like I said, a huge favorite in the hobby. People adore the pumpkin patch tarantula. This is one of those dwarf species as well, so you know, the adults don't get but about 3.5 inches, but they are really interesting looking little species, and I'll tell you, they are awesome feeders or eaters as well. So let's go ahead and try to get it in its enclosure. I don't know yet whether I want to try the same method I've been using, as in just poke it in, because this one is so kind of bolty. I have a feeling if I poke it in there, it's going to run into this enclosure and then back out. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to take this vial that I just took my Phormictopus cautus out of and just kind of like cup it or whatever, so you know it can't go anywhere, and then try to get it to run up into that. See that little bolt? I don't know if you guys noticed that. I mean, that thing, it went up and around the inside of that tube 3 or 4 times really quickly. So this is one of those I'm going to apologize, first of all, for the shakiness of the camera there. For the angle, this is more about the transfer of the tarantula rather than the shot. I just don't want to take any chances with anything going for a run. But we are slowly working it down the vial. And, of course, we get all that done, and it turns around and comes back out. That's the thing about tarantulas, is it's always interesting. They don't always do what you want them to. A lot of times they will do the opposite. There we go. Little more effort with that one, but we got it in there. That is number 4 out of 5. That is my Hapalopus Columbia large, the pumpkin patch in its new home. Let's get around to the old world. It should be fun, folks. And last but not least, the most fun rehouse of the night. This is, as I mentioned, an old world. It is predominantly arboreal as an adult, but will burrow as a sling in a juvenile, and sometimes as an adult if given a chance. This is one I essentially got free from Palp Friction because a year or so ago, I bought a tarantula online that they actually sold at a show right before, like literally a half hour before I bought it online. And so they basically gave me store credit, and I went and picked out 4 old world slings with it. This is one of those. And again, I'm going to apologize for the angle for a second, but this is going to be more about getting the tarantula out than the whole getting a look at it. We'll get it out, then we'll try to get a look at it, but of course we want to get the animal out first. Being an old world, I am going to go ahead and put a cup over that and hope that I can poke it out of the burrow that it is in and not have to dig it out. And if this works, some of you should take notes, and I'm talking to a particular subscriber / friend of mine about how to transfer an old world. And of course now I'm looking stupid because that's not working. Of course, I came into this without a game plan, except for the fact that I knew that with an old world I was not going to take the chance. Hold on, guys, let me remove a little bit of this stuff and let's see if we can get this thing done. Okay, so I did not get it on camera, but I managed to get my Cereopagopus species Bachma sling out of that enclosure. Fortunately, I think it looks like it's in a pre-molt, so it's not quite as skittish and bolty. And you can see its abdomen is quite fat, and it's just not moving as fast as it should for an Asian old world tarantula. So that was a good thing. So also, I think I kind of timed it just right with rehousing this one, and I wasn't sure if I was going to rehouse this one, but I decided at the last minute that it probably needed a new home, and it was better to go ahead and do it now. So here we go. We're going to transfer it. I'm going to be crazy here and try to just coax it, but I will have the lid on just in case. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put the lid on here, put the tube, maybe not. Yeah, something like this. Always want to take precautions with certain species of tarantulas, especially old worlds, because the last thing you want to do is just think, oh, I can just poke it over. See, and it's a good thing I had the lid there because it wanted to try to run. But you think, oh, I can just poke it over, and you touch it, and it freaks out and runs. And next thing you know, it's loose in your house. And, of course, old worlds especially, something like this, you would not want loose in your house. Definitely not. Of course, I wouldn't want any tarantulas loose in my house, and I've had them loose before, but old worlds are definitely those you don't really want running free in your house. There we go, guys. That was actually a pretty uneventful video. I know some of you are disappointed, and the rest of you are probably proud of me, and then some of you probably don't really care. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've got some more coming up. Be looking for that. That's going to be later in the week. Turns out I ended up with those old enclosures. I ended up with a nice bit of substrate where I can rehouse probably 2 or 3 more of my smaller tarantulas later this week. So be looking for that. Again, thank you so much for watching and checking out my channel. Click that thumbs up and give me a comment. If you have not subscribed, please do that. Share this video with your friends. And, of course, have a great day or a great night wherever you are. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless, guys.